22 years ago, I fell into the world of real estate. It wasn't a career choice I thought of. In fact, I didn't even know what I wanted to be. And my tutor at my very expensive boarding school in England told me that the best I could do was that I could be a butler. I was at school, I did sport, I did acting, I did everything apart from being academic. And that's why I just had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do at all. I very quickly went into hospitality, but I realised that that wasn't for me. And a friend of mine said to me one day, walking home from work as we passed in Battersea, all these big estate agents, he said, I think that's what you could do. And I went, yeah, I could do actually. And they were dressed in their pink shirts and their pinstripe suits, and they were busy on the phone at 7:30 at night, and they were going in and out in their cars, going off to do viewings. And I was like, I really like the look of that. 75 days, no alcohol, no cheat meals, 45 minutes of exercise indoors, 45 minutes of exercise outdoors every day, an absurd amount of water, and 10 pages of reading minimum. We are going to Camps Bay. The client's actually not going to be there, and also we've got to be slightly confidential about the actual property that I'm going to, because it's quite an obvious property. So we'll go, we'll chat about it, and then if you guys can go and get some stuff in Camps Bay and stuff like that. I'm not going to be that long, but it'd be just cool to get some nice content, and it's not far from the strip as well. So, and we've got a bit of time because our next one's at 12 o'clock after this. Perfect. So it's a client I've known. Gosh, I've probably known him for about 6 years. Very supportive of when Hardie Property was set up 4.5 years ago, and has always come to me for advice, and he's now asked me to value. I'm not sure that he necessarily wants to sell. I think he's just looking for something up to date, but I'm always happy to facilitate that, because at the end of the day it's a long-standing relationship, and I don't care whether I've known you for 2 minutes or I've known you for 20 years. I'll always help people out, because you never know when it's going to come back around to you.
Yeah. Well, what details do you have about the property that you can share? Is that all confidential?
Not a lot.
So what makes these type of things confidential though?
So it's quite a significant property. So if I even gave away the tiniest bit of detail, I think most agents would know which property it is.
Okay.
That's why even when we get there, I can't even sort of show that we're in the vicinity of it.
Okay.
Because people would jump all over it. So I mean, that's one of those things, like with my social media and stuff, I'm quite open with what I do, and I'm always happy to share with other agents. And sometimes I do things deliberately, like I've got this penthouse coming to market, and I did a teaser reel on it the other day, and I know that a couple of agents recognise it, and I don't mind that, because I'm very happy for them, even before I go to market, to bring their buyers, because I'll always share from day dot, and that's something that we'll talk about, that I'm really, really pushing at the moment. But you do have to be a little bit careful about what you put out there, especially if you don't want people to know, because there's a lot of people watching the socials, especially agents, and I've noticed a lot of agents are following me, which I think is amazing, but at the same time you have to be a bit careful with your content.
Why is that though?
Look, I'm overly trusting, but at the end of the day, this is real estate in a city, and not everyone can be trusted, and I'd be a fool to think that people wouldn't go for the opportunity of contacting the client and saying, oh, have you got a mandate in place? Can we sell it for you, etc., etc. And look, a lot of my relationships with my clients are based on trust, and they wouldn't. but you can't take the chances. So look, I mean, I saw another agency's social media the other day, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I hope you got a mandate in place, because I knew exactly what apartment it was.
So you see the opportunity?
No, but I mean, I know which apartment it is, and I'm not the type of person to call the client up and go, you know, can I list it for you? Yeah, if I had a buyer who I knew for that, it'd be different, I would. But I'm also not one of those that I'm not an agent who calls people all the time as well. I've got enough going on without having to try and call people and get business that way. So
how do you get most of your business anyway? Is it a lot through the relationships and network that you
Yeah, so when I set up Hardie Property 4.5 years ago, my biggest fear was that I didn't know enough people. But what I found that was people were very, very supportive of having your own business. And yeah, the support was absolutely incredible. So a lot of the business that I get is referral business. And then I do get a lot through Instagram, especially. But Cape Town's a small place, and it's a real it's a real referral network. So most of my business comes from referrals, or you know, it's or repeat business, or recommendations, referrals, that kind of thing. But I did, my main platform, and I've always been very consistent with it, is Instagram, and I do get quite a lot of business through Instagram, through social media. And the reason that I wanted to do this video and this filming is because I really, really wanted to showcase to the world, one, how amazing Cape Town is, but also how a boutique agency operates in Cape Town, in South Africa. And one of the key things for me is I want to show how we collaborate with other agents, and I want to show the world how agents can collaborate together to make deals.
So I just came from that valuation, and this is the scenario where, you know, having done this for 22 years, you can be quite pragmatic about stuff. So, you know, I made the decision that actually that property isn't something that I should be valuing. You know, it is actually being sold as a going concern. It's got a lot of rooms, and it's not my speciality. You know, I'm fantastic on residential, apartments, houses. Doesn't matter what size those are, but this is actually a business, and you've got to look at financials, and there are people who specifically do that type of property, and that's not me. So I've turned around to the client I know super well, and then I just said, look, I'm not the right agent for you. And you know, that only comes with like experience. You know, you'll find a lot of the newer or the younger agents, they'll go there, they'll go, oh my God, it's amazing, and you know, and they'll try their best to do valuation, they'll really struggle with it, and they may or may not come up with the right figure, and then even if they get the property to sell, they'll struggle because they haven't got the contacts and they haven't got the people. Now the funny thing is, if that came to market, I've got the contacts, so I could probably sell it, but I'm not the right person to value it. So there you go.
So today we are going to be going to a property called Moons Mills, which is at Bel Air Drive in Constantia Upper. Amazing property, 2 modern houses on 4,000 squares, which is very, very unique. It's even got a slide running from the top swimming pool into a dam at the bottom. And we're going to be seeing Bruce there because we are going to prep the house ready for the filming and the photographs. And people can tell you that the house is ready, but they're not always, and we're quite fastidious, so we just want to make sure that it's looking absolutely perfect. It is so hot today, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into prepping a big house when it comes to market, so we'll catch you there later.
Situated on 4,000 square meters, consisting of 2 modern houses plus a cottage. Come and take a look. A completely unique property that has not been seen on the market. Welcome to Bel Air Drive, Constantia Upper.
we were just talking about how I think people look at real estate and think that it's very glamorous, and you turn up to 40 million rand houses like this and everything's ready to go. And to be fair to the client, they have done their best to get things ready, but it's one guy by himself. You've got to come in and you've got to hence our wiping sweat off our foreheads, because we come in, we run around, we clear tea towels, we make beds, we clear garden sacks,
and we clean the pool.
And Bruce is very good at that. And we move cars, and so it's a whole so we're very good at running around, making sure that places look perfect.
Yeah, ready for the photos.
They're not always perfect, it's a home, but yeah. So
this is quite a remarkable home as well, and very different, and a lot to shoot. So a lot of organising behind the scenes.
Yeah, like getting the water on the slide.
Yeah, very tempted to jump in.
After operating for 4.5 years, from a revenue point of view, we've always achieved 50%. But for example, in this last year, we hit just over 100%. So we doubled our revenue, which I'm super proud of. We are a small team. There's myself. I partner up with a gentleman called Bruce. We've got an Atlantic Seaboard team, Jodi and Monica. We've got Linda and Lyndsay, who operate in the southern suburbs, but none of us have any restriction with where we can work. So we cover all the prime areas of Cape Town. So the competitive landscape in Cape Town can be interesting. At the end of the day, it is a commission-only based environment. So, it can lead to some sticky situations, but what we're really trying to do is trying to get agents to collaborate no matter what. And in the last couple of years, we've really achieved something very special, and there are so many agents out there who are willing to collaborate, and they know that Hardie Property always collaborates. So for me, that's really important for me. So we have a great network here with the agents, but also we have a great network internationally. That's almost our USP. I recently went on a trip to London, and I met with our international brokers there. I connected with lawyers that know. I lived there for 8 years, and I've got a lot of really key connections. Agents, lawyers, finance, and I spent 10 days in London connecting with all of those people, and then I bring that back to Cape Town, and I'm also taking Cape Town to London as well. So it's really important to have that international element as well as capturing the local market.
Richard and I have known each other quite some time. We work together at another agency. I just absolutely love the way he runs his business, and it wasn't long before I jumped ship and joined him. We are a boutique niche agency where we really focus on the client and where we focus on the quality of our service into the industry. We are extremely focused on making sure that we match the right client to the right property, and all-round experience must be a pleasant one and hold our industry in high regard and high esteem.
Ready for the day?
Fueled up for the day?
Nice. What do we have on the cards today, Richard?
So we are going to got a viewing on a piece of land here. I actually also have this house for sale, so it's split into two. Front house is 23,995. Then we've got a plot of land at the back for 5.8. Also, actually, filling enough on Friday, we're doing something else at the top of the road. So this is, just to give you some background, this is Swanepoel. One road in, one road out. Really nice suburb. super secure, peaceful, quiet, mountains, lots of horses. So yeah, and plots of land there's very, very few left, so that's what we're doing now. We have got a vacant piece of land in Swanepoel. There are very few of these left. 1128 square meters, 5.8 is the asking price. Sectional title, because you're only allowed to sectionalise in Swanepoel if the land is under a certain size. And this will just be one of 2 sections, but where we're stood, someone can basically build here, and they'll have actually, if they went double story, they'd have amazing views that way, but you've got nice views that way, and there's also actually lovely views that way as well. So it makes for a really beautiful piece of land. Also behind you here is Steenberg Golf Estate, and then Swanepoel is super quiet, very equestrian, amazing security, really, really nice environment. We've got a dog who's yapping away, who's not very happy, but we'll keep that in. In fact, there's 3 of them. So yeah, and I've got a viewing here just now with someone, but we obviously just want to keep that confidential. So I thought we'd just do a little preview of what I'm going to be doing at 9:30. So yeah. So I think that balance is super, super important in this job. You will see many people who say that real estate is 24/7, and you can allow it to be 24/7 if you want to, but you are going to burn out. I myself, I've got 4 dogs, 2 cats, 2 children. I'm also a husband, and I'm also running a business as well. So it's really important for me to have that balance. So I do make sure that I take time out to spend time with my dogs. I take them for a walk. I have my phone with me. I am always connected, but the point is you've got to have that balance as well. Going to the gym in the morning, seeing my personal trainer, making sure I do that first thing in the morning as well. It just makes you feel so incredible. For example, this morning, I went for a cold plunge as well, because that just gives you so much energy. And we live in an amazing city. Outside of this apartment, I can see Table Mountain, I can see Lion's Head, and I've got the ocean that way. And that is what is so amazing about living in Cape Town, and it's a complete lifestyle city. I always make sure that I get 10,000 steps in or more. I think my average every day is like 12,242, I think is the most recent average.
And you walk every day? Is that how you get that in?
Well, got to walk every day. Dogs will go mad. At the moment, they're very lucky. They're getting 2 walks a day because it's winter, so can sort of afford a little bit more time and stuff. And like during that walk, I left 3 voice notes, answered 4 emails, took a call. So yeah, you're always on the go.
So you don't ever switch off, eh?
Yeah. You do, but also part of my nature is actually I'm going to drive us past a house in Consumption we also just sold.
Nice.
Part of my nature is that is to be on top of the stuff is relaxing for me. So like, for example, like looking after the finance of the business and stuff, when we do a deal, I want to make sure the VAT is transferred into the right account. I want to make sure our provisional tax is done. I like it all to be done like straight away, so I know exactly where we stand. And so the nature of like my emails is, I can't bear like your email like building up. So it's like deal with it, and that gives me comfort, because if you leave it, it's just, it's a nightmare. I hate to think how many emails I get a day.
From a financial background. I was in the financial industry for 26 years and decided I lost my love for it. So decided to go into administration, which had been part of what I've done for 26 years, and did the leap. Changed my environment, changed my industry. And Richard put an ad on Instagram
There you
and
go. Instagram.
Instagram, and
Instagram.
6:30 in the morning, and at 7:15 he had received my CV.
Okay, the Rockefeller. This is where we're going to go to today. Very kindly, Thomas Doyle from Revo Property was very happy to show us around. Again, collaboration. We've got a superb relationship with Thomas, with Revo Property. We do a lot together, and he is going to show me the Rockefeller, which is a very, very cool building in the city centre. There's now lots of other apartment buildings going up around it, but it's cool, it's edgy, it's design-led, and it's just got an amazing vibe to it. So he's going to show us there. It's a mixture, it's a hotel, it's apartment, hotel rooms, and then it's also apartments themselves as well. So it's not quite mixed use, but and it's got a very cool rooftop as well. It's nice and close to CTICC, and as I said, there's lots going on around there, so it's going to be at the epicenter of that sort of downtown living. But yeah, just a big shout out to Thomas and the Revo gang for showing us the property. So yeah, we're going to go and do that later. Quite tough for me because I knew what I wanted someone to do, but it was very difficult to sort of bring someone into that space. So I think that's why the interview was 3 days long, because, well, we had a couple of interviews, but the whole process took sort of 3 days because, you know, it was so hard for me because it's a very trusting role, you know, and you sort of, yeah, you're really integrating someone into your business. So
I think one of the big things you wanted to see was whether I could interact with the clients. It was a big part of it.
yeah, I mean, you meet someone once, you don't really know that person. So if you see them in an environment, you see them interacting with people, and I guess a bit of pressure as well, because there was a bit of pressure, then it was good just to see. So. You know, when Hardie Property started, I started not really thinking that anyone would join. So Hardie Property started, the business is what it is, we do what we do, the service that we do, the way that we communicate. We're very proud about the brand and its aesthetics and what it stands for. And then the guys have come on board and they all stand for that as well. And we just enjoy being a small team and we all have the same values. I think that's a fair.
And I think there's a lot of respect between each person that works for Hardie.
The success of Hardie Property is important to me because it's my name. I'll be perfectly frank. When I set up Hardie Property and I was sat in my entrance hall, I didn't really envisage anyone else working for the company. And part of the reason I actually chose the name was for my dad, who sadly passed away. And I wanted to carry on. I wanted to carry on the name. Yeah, but I very quickly became very, very busy, and that's where Shauni came along, who's my PA, who soon will have been with me for 4 years. And then everything else just happened organically. The rest of the team just came along, and they're fantastic. And I said, why not? So that's where we've got to where we are right now. But we don't have a crazy vision to be the big corporate. That's not what we want. We enjoy being small, and it works incredibly well.
I push Richard every December. Well, now it's the team, but originally I tasked him in December. We close admin office about the 22nd. So about the 20th of November, I said to him, I've got a challenge for you. I'd like you to sell 5 properties before the 22nd of December.
In a month.
In that month.
And I did.
And he did. He actually did 7.
Yeah.
And then so when the team started, when we got Linda and Lyndsay to join us in 2022, we then put the challenge out for the team, and
I still won.
and Richard still won.
And Linda's in the room so she can hear me. The relevance of the brand name, obviously it's my surname, but you know, it was my dad's surname as well, and he's no longer with us. And the thing is, he never got chance to see me come back to South Africa. He never got chance to see me set up a business or to be put in the position of setting up a business. And we had a super, super close relationship. I loved him, I adored him, I respected him. He ultimately got to the top of his field. He was a High Commissioner for the British Diplomatic Service. And I was very, very proud of that, incredibly proud. So it was nice for me to be able to, you know, to name the company after him.
Hi, I'm Linda Gibson, and I initially was in the advertising media industry for 30 years, and have been in the property business for 5 years, and 2 of those I have been with Hardie Property with Richard.
Yeah, we did work with each other previously.
That's correct, with, in a Cape Town agency, loads of people. But the idea of joining Richard, having met him when he was the CEO of the agency, it just appealed to me to have a far smaller boutique type agency to join. My partner and I, Lyndsay, we very much run our own business with Richard obviously overseeing, you know, being there for us. But far happier, absolutely love it. I can work in all areas, sell all over the southern suburbs, and even now going onto the city side, which is very exciting. So yeah, lots happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, anyone who joins Hardie Property, I always say you've got to be your own boss. You know, you can't, from an agency point of view, from an agent's point of view, you've got to be your own boss, because I love being an agent. It's one of the first times in my career that I've been able to do it, and I'm busy myself doing it. So I love that. So anyone who does come on board, and I said to Linda and Lyndsay, I said, you know, you've got to do your own thing, look after yourself, and you're happy with that. You know, we don't have meetings every week, and we don't have training every week, but we do catch up in training. We do, and look, if we want to meet up, we'll have breakfast or a glass of wine, or you know, or we'll see each other in training. So it's much more relaxed and informal, and then you guys can get on with selling and valuing and you know, doing what and making money.
Yeah, making money.
Yeah.
And also Richard's whole approach, it works for me. Richard's values, his handling of clients, very to the point, no nonsense, no emotion, get on with the job, do what we got to do. Well, I haven't seen
No
it.
emotion. No.
Not when I phone you without
No.
questions. But no, it's just, and also working with all the other agencies. That's a first. Working so closely with the opposition. But that's Richard's always done that. So we're starting to do quite a lot of that as well, which is all new, and it's great, and it definitely works.
Yeah, it does. The whole collaboration thing, and I think we've touched on throughout the whole week. We'll touch on this at various points. And you guys have just done a collaborative deal with another agency, and it's a massive thing that we're sort of spearheading, and it's really working. And at the end of the day, collaboration is the long game, because you have this relationship, and you'll then always have these nice relationships with other agents, and it's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
I think we're on 6 already for this year, and the last 2 months we've done 3. The last 2 months, and I think if you don't have stock, that's
Yeah.
Let's just go out and work with other agents because it keeps you busy, keeps activity leads to activities.
Yeah, and I think because we push the envelope, and in what is a very busy market, you can find that agents often won't share because it's so busy. But if you can show that you share in a busy market, it's very difficult for them not to reciprocate. And what you're trying to say to people is, look, it's all very well and dandy that the market's amazing at the moment. It's incredibly buoyant in Cape Town, and it probably will be for the foreseeable future. But markets do this, you know, they always do. And at some point, it's not going to be so rosy, and it will be tough. And who will you want at that point? You will want the other agents to come and bring you buyers, tenants, whatever. So it's those relationships that you built now or in the past that will really help you. A common question that I get asked is, what have you sacrificed in order to have such a successful business? And actually, I'm going to flip that around because my personality is not just to focus on Hardie Property. I actually spend too much time worrying about other things, and I want to make sure that all those plates are spinning at the same time. So it's, is the house okay? Is the family life okay? Are the dogs okay? Probably the primary one. The 2 cats, are they okay? And you know, anything that happens in my life, I want to make sure it's actually a balance all round. So every so often I have to remind myself that you do have a business, and that you have to have structure, and especially when you come into a busy season. So it's like, right, Hardie Property, structure, 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 and then keep everything else balanced. But that is my nature, just to sort of keep all of the plates spinning. Let's chat security estates. Well, first of all, I can't get enough of them. And we are going to be viewing a property in Silverstein Estate, which actually falls under Takai, which is the next suburb down from Constantia. But it sits beautifully behind Steenberg Wine Farm. And a young couple have very kindly let us join them on the viewing. And I'm going to be showing them this fantastic house built 21 years ago, highest house in the estate, incredible views, yeah, and it sits right behind a wine farm as well. So if you really want to, you can tootle down the hill and go and have a glass of wine and have a really nice meal in one of their 2 restaurants. So yeah, so we're gonna go and show this house in the estate.
So where are we off to today, Richard?
Okay, we are going to Silverstein Estate, which is a bit of a state secret as far as properties as estates go. Not many people know about it. It's awkward because only until recently, when you were looking for estates, like if you look into Takai, you'll find it. But actually, they only changed that recently. So in order to find Silverstein Estate, you actually have to put in Silverstein Estate. Not many people know about it. It's a very small estate. It sits behind Steenberg Wine Farm. And it has amazing views. It's amazing if your kids go to Readham and places like that. Yeah, I mean and there's various estates around there. There's a few that are attached to Steenberg. Then you've got Stonehurst Mountain Estate. You've got Silver Tree Estate, and this sits up on the hill there. So I think it's a well kept secret, but I think once people like properly discover it, I think it'll be one of those estates which is then very hard to get into. So I mean, houses don't come up very often for sale because it's so small. So yeah, that's what we're off to.
And who are we meeting with?
We are meeting with a buyer who I have not met before. I do also have to discuss an offer with this client from someone else who has been going backwards and forwards for a while now. They are downscaling from a massive house in Constantia, and they have very kindly said that they would give me the sole mandate on that house in Constantia, which will be worth about 35 million, and has unbelievable views. And the reason they want this house is because it's the only house that they've seen which is smaller, which offers the same sorts of views, which is in a security estate. So yeah, so we'll see. So I do need to talk to her about that at some point afterwards. But yeah, we are showing a buyer that I've never seen before. I do have someone else also to see this property, but they're in Johannesburg. And interestingly, all of this has come off our website, not off any portals or social media.
That's really cool.
It is good. It's nice for me because it it tells me that people are looking at the website.
Yeah.
Right, we're in Bishop's Court Village this afternoon. As you can see, we have sold this house. We sold it within a week. We had 2 contracts out on it with a potential third as well. So this was on at 7.25. We got literally just under the asking price on it. And yeah, it's a corner plot. It's got the most incredible views, which we're going to spin around and see in a minute. Bishop's Court Village is a small area, but it's super popular because it's got amazing mountain views, it's scenic, there's a river down there, you can get to schools quickly, it's kind of in the middle of everything, and it's just a really nice little village. I also recently just sold, about 6 months prior, a house down the road for 11 million. We got close to asking on that as well. I had 3 contracts out on that, and I kid you not, I could have sold that house 3 times over. Lots of people were really disappointed about this, and as you can see, I've also put a thing saying demand is outstripping supply. As it stands, so just to document we're 2024 September. So yeah, so the market's absolutely crazy here, but yeah, no, it was really lovely to sell this house. It was between ourselves and another agent, and yeah, they gave us a lead in, which was super kind. And yeah, if we could have more stock in Bishop's Court Village, it would be amazing. We have just done a deal with another agent round the corner, but in Bishop's Court for 21.75. So that was nice. I was representing the buyer. South African couple who were in America moved back to South Africa, wanted a home in Bishop's Court Village. And yeah, we just did that deal with them. Actually, I just got news now that it's actually just, it's lodged. So it's got about 7 to 10 days until it transfers. So yeah, so this is Bishop's Court Village. So a few things. As an agency, we've just joined Private Property, which is a platform we've never explored. But we've decided to go on there, so we're going to give that a trial. So that's great for us as an agency. Then tomorrow, we've got a busy day tomorrow. We are gymming, as always, and then we are rushing to Sea Point for evaluation that just came in. Then we're going to Hout Bay for evaluation. Then we're going back to De Waterkant for a second viewing. Then we're going to Constantia. Then we're going to Swanepoel. So we've got a nice busy day. And then tonight, after this, we are going to Clifton to see Jodi and Monica, who work the Atlantic Seaboard, and they've got a house on the beach. I'm looking at it for a buyer of mine. We're going to preview it and then send videos, etc., etc. So that's tonight, and then you guys are going to chat to them about why Hardie Property and their team and joining and what they do, etc., etc. So that's cool, and hopefully we're going to have a nice sunset there as well. And then London's coming up on Sunday, and I have not packed. I'm afraid I'm a bit of a last-minute packer, but it's going to be a very, very busy weekend. But I'm really looking forward to that. Got some really great meetings, viewings, set up. So yeah, that's on Sunday. I'm away for 10 days. So yeah. So we've got a very cool afternoon planned. We're going to go and meet Jodi and Monica, who are Team Hot Property, and they have got this awesome opportunity in Clifton. It's super nice for you to see Clifton, because Clifton is considered to be probably the most expensive suburb within Cape Town, if not South Africa. And they have got an opportunity right on the beach. It needs complete and utter, it's a rebuild basically. But the location is incredible, the views are incredible, and yeah, it'll be really fantastic for you to also meet them. Good evening and welcome to Clifton Fourth. Clifton is the most expensive suburb within Cape Town, and tonight we actually have the privilege of looking at a property that's right on the beach here with Jodi and Monica, who work for Team Hardie Property. And I'm showing the property for my British client, and they're listing the property. So we're coming together tonight to look at this fantastic property on the beach. And Clifton is renowned for its sunsets and possibly one of the nicest beaches in South Africa. So let's go and have a look.
Well, Jodes, it's been almost a year since we joined Hardie.
We're going on, it's a month away. We've been at Hardie for 11 months.
How are you feeling about it?
I can't believe it's gone so quickly. I mean, it took a couple, 3 months to really find our feet. Boutique agency, completely different style. I love Richard. I really like the fact that we've got so much kind of freedom, and he speaks the same language from a marketing perspective, which totally relates to me.
Absolutely.
How do you find it?
I think it's great because we have such a far reach with our very close associates being all over the peninsula.
Absolutely.
That really works for me.
Yeah. And the fact that Team Hot Prop has got the sole exclusivity on the seaboard. I mean,
we love that.
We're pretty blessed. Rich has given us the cherry on top there, at least in my opinion.
So how was Arm Day, Richard?
Yeah, I feel as though I'm going to be like this later. Yeah, I know that was, I think, the hardest leg session. Can't even think straight. It's the hardest arm session I think I've done. Yeah, I know it was hard.
Those drop sets look brutal.
And also, I'm not brilliant with repetition, so I find that quite tough mentally. And so I mean, for me, that's why I go to a personal trainer, because I would never do that by myself. I'd never push myself, and I'd never do 5, 5, 5, 5, and then do drop sets ever. So let's chat Bruce Darne. Bruce used to be a client, him and his wife. And Bruce phones me up one day and he says, can we meet? Absolutely. And he's been in another industry for 24 years. And he says, I think I'd like to get into real estate and I'd love to work for Hardie Property. So I gave it about 4 minutes and I said, yep, absolutely. I think this can work. For me, it's about personality and it's about people. And I already knew them. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Bruce, but he's very charming. He's got a great personality. And I just thought, and we got on very, very well. And I just thought, yeah, fantastic.
The journey up until this point, I've immersed myself in so many deals and so many people and so many homes. It almost feels like I've been doing it for that much longer. And often people come up to me and ask me, how's this new journey in property going? Because before this, for 25 years, I've been running a company that looks after 20 non-profit organizations. It runs itself. And it came to a point like during COVID time, I realized that I didn't need to be part of that business any longer, and I thought I need to maybe do something different in my sort of mid to late 40s without giving away my age. And I thought, you know what, I've always loved property. I've been sort of gravitated towards people that work in property, and I thought to myself, it was a bit of like sitting on a couch on a Sunday, and I said to my wife, and I leaned over and I said, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take a sabbatical, move away from the business, and I'm going to sell property. And she like had a little giggle in the back of the kitchen. It's like, really? And at that point, there were just two people that I said to myself, if I'm going to get into this, I need to learn from the best. And one of those people was Richard. Richard I'd met probably a couple of years before that. And during that time, he rented a property. He was involved in selling some property in my wife's business. And I always just found him to be a great operator. I liked his marketing, I liked his communication, and he kind of just stood out above all other people in the industry. So approaching him was basically, it's like, I'm either going to do it with him or I'm not going to do it at all. And after that first meeting, Richard looked at me and said, Bruce, the fact that you haven't been selling property up until this point and the personality that you are, I do believe that you'll do exceptionally well, and he sent me a contract that night. And it's been an amazing journey, and I've learned that it's just a people's job. It's all about actually listening to people's needs.
Is there a plan B if this doesn't work? I suppose every so often I do think about, crikey, what if we stopped selling things? And I guess I do have the odd panic attack at night. I mean, I feel very fortunate that we are very busy. We are doing really, really well. But I think it's also about what you put into the universe. And again, I love doing my job and I'm enthusiastic. You know, a lot of our success is based on enjoying what we do, but sometimes, crikey, what would I do if I wasn't doing this? I don't know. I think I'd run away to a different country, work on an island and serve cocktails. I don't know. I once worked on an island in Malaysia in the jungle, and you know, that sort of feeling of being miles away from everyone and getting off the sort of rat run and stuff like that. But look, this is a pretty nice rat run to be in. Cape Town's an amazing city, and you know what? I just think onward and upward, and I think positively, and so there won't need to be a plan B. We'll keep doing this.
And where are we now? We'll be meeting.
We are back in Old Cape Quarter, and we are doing a second viewing. Well, the first viewing was on video. They've flown down from Durban. We've blocked out the apartment because it's on Airbnb. It's with Arthur from Tyson. We're going to meet and greet. Linda and Lyndsay are hoping to come as well. Yeah.
So, how did the valuation go?
How did the viewing go?
Sorry, the viewing, my bad. Did it go as expected?
So, yeah, it was quite interesting because in total, we whipped in and out of, well, 4 apartments, but in total, I think we were in and out like, are you gonna let me through? No? Okay. It's quite amazing. Thank you. So we must have gone in and out of 7 apartments in total, and we had one apartment specifically blocked out, which went into, yeah, it's amazing, we really love it, and then we went to have a look at some others, and funnily enough, I saw one of the rental people going into an apartment, and I said, is that free? She said, well, I'm just doing a check-in. I said, but can we look at it? And that is the one that they liked.
Nice. So what exactly were they looking for?
So they're from Durban. There was a whole gang of them, and they do want it for Airbnb, but they also want it for themselves to use, so they can block it out. And a daughter is going to be going to university or a college down here. So they just, like flexible and, security, amenities on your doorstep. I mean, I was just like, yeah, she can walk to yoga and spa, and they were like, ching, ching, ching.
Nice.
So yeah, but it was good actually. It was really, and that's the second viewing that I've done with Arthur at the property. Yeah, again, that's all collaboration. So yeah, that's good.
So this client was brought through Arthur?
Correct, yeah.
Nice. Where are we off to next? It's quite an exciting day so far.
Sure, it's varied. So we are going to Hout Bay now.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot in Hout Bay. The last property I sold in Hout Bay was a really nice house in a security estate, and actually the reason that they chose myself and Hardie Property is that they wanted an agent with more reach. They wanted someone who works all areas of Cape Town, has international reach, and also just thinks out the box from a marketing point of view, as opposed to a local agent. And not knocking local agents, but they tend to be very centric to that spot, whereas we obviously get buyers from all over. And that was actually through social media, Instagram. I knew them, but they've always followed me. And then this valuation that we're going to also has come through Instagram. They think the value sits around 14 million. It's in a security estate. So I'm really looking forward to this. And so it's nice. This is what I like, is that the business that I get is built on referrals or social media, and this is someone who's invited me into their house. I haven't called them, I haven't pestered them. They've called me, so immediately that's a lovely relationship. And they've said, look, we'd like to invite you to give us an idea on a value whilst we decide what we're doing. So for me, that's a really lovely setup. So we just had a really nice valuation here in Hout Bay. Incredible views, really lovely people. He was British, found me through Instagram. And the big reason for them using us is they really like our marketing, the way that we present properties, our international reach, and the big thing she mentioned is it's very obvious that you collaborate with other agents. So the one thing is that they've had a massive price differentiation in the valuations they've had so far, 6 million difference, which is huge. And I was very clear. I said, look, when I give a figure, I'm quite cautious, and it's generally not to get the property for a mandate. If you choose that you like to use myself, Hardie Property, we discuss a price and we do it together. So it was a really, really nice valuation. We are in an estate within Hout Bay. Hout Bay is quite known for its estates. People love it. These people came here because of the international school. It has the most incredible views. It's quiet, it's peaceful. You can get straight onto the mountains from your property as well. Yeah, Hardie is a real community and people really like living here because of that community. Sort of village, it's got a beach, it's got amazing scenery. Everything's on your doorstep here, and yeah, the international school is actually a big pull for people here as well. But yeah, I'd love to get this one on, so we'll see what happens. So marketing is at the forefront of our business. Sometimes I think that I love marketing more than I love property. I was actually really proud. We have just created a marketing booklet for our clients, so when we go on valuations, and the old one was 6 pages long. This one is 40 pages long. So it's a real testament to all the business that we've done, and that's something that we can give our clients and be super proud of. From a marketing point of view, also last year we won an award. We went and picked it up in Dubai for Africa for our marketing. And we just like to make sure that we're constantly innovative and that we're leading the way in Cape Town and South Africa for marketing, for real estate, for our clients.